Think about it. This is only week 3 of fantasy football. Had I sat here on this channel just a few weeks ago and told you guys that you'd be running to the waiver wire to try to claim Raheem Mostert, you never would have watched this channel again. Things have been pretty crazy, but let's talk about our top 30 running backs for week 3. What's going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Welcome back to the Draft.com studios, where today we're talking about running back rankings. And I said it there at the beginning, there's been a lot of injuries already. There's probably players on your roster that you had no intention of ever owning because you may have felt good, at least about your running backs just a few short weeks ago. Things can change awfully quick. It's one of the reasons here in the offseason we preached kind of loading up on running backs early. We didn't expect him to start going down this fast, but it's happened. So what do we do about it going forward? That's what we're talking about today. We have our top 30 rankings for the running back position for week 3 fantasy football. Not going to waste a whole lot of time. We're going to get into the rankings right now. Number 1 is going to be Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas Cowboys. And why do we have him number 1? Well, it's pretty simple. They're playing the Miami Dolphins, who suck at all things NFL football here in 2019. Now, a lot of people forget, remember, he didn't play in the preseason. This has kind of been his preseason tune-up the last couple weeks. A big game from Zeke is coming. Does it happen here in week 3? There's no better chance with him going up against the Miami Dolphins. Got him at running back 1. Number 2 is going to be Christian McCaffrey, Carolina Panthers. He let a lot of people down last week. Now, obviously, you can't ever sit Christian McCaffrey, but this week there's a real chance Cam Newton doesn't play. If he doesn't, you'll have Kyle Allen as a quarterback, and a lot of you are going, who the hell is Kyle Allen? Exactly. I expect a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey, not only in the running game, but in check down passes, trying to take some of the pressure off the quarterback here for the Carolina Panthers. Number 3, Saquon Barkley, New York Giants. Similar to Christian McCaffrey, they have a brand new quarterback here in New York now, Daniel Jones, making his first ever NFL start. They're going to have to use Barkley early and often to take the pressure off him. Got him at running back 3. Number 4 is going to be Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings, and this guy has been a pleasant surprise for those of you who listened to us and took him early in the second round, because more than likely he's carrying a lot of fantasy teams at this point. They're running the ball really effectively in Minnesota. What are they not doing effectively? Throwing the ball. Now, it is a little bit of a difficult matchup going up against an Oakland Raiders run defense, but Dalvin Cook must start killing it so far. Got him at running back 4. Number 5 is going to be Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns. You know we all about that Chubb life over here. Another primetime game going up against the Los Angeles Rams. A difficult matchup, but Nick Chubb, another one of those running backs that's going to get you close to 20 touches a week, and an offense that hopefully turned the corner last week. Got Nick Chubb at number 5. Number 6 is going to be Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints. We dropped him down a few spots until we can see what this offense looks like with Teddy Bridgewater. We know Drew Brees is out, but Bridgewater with a full week of practice with the number 1s can really come out and make a statement still. I mean, this is not somebody new to the New Orleans system. And Alvin Kamara, he's going to be heavily involved in this game plan regardless to try to help take off the pressure of one Teddy Bridgewater. Don't forget, Bridgewater's not new to this system by any means. He can run this offense, and hopefully after a full week of practice, he comes out and proves a lot of people wrong here in week 3. Number 7 is Austin Eckler, Los Angeles Chargers, and who would have thought, by week 3 of the fantasy football season that Austin Eckler would be a consistent top 10 pick? Well, he is, again, going up against the Houston Texans, but it's not just the running game that really produces points for Austin Eckler. It's his involvement in the passing game. That is not going to stop going forward. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a big producer in this offense. Got him at running back 7. Number 8 is going to be David Johnson of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I mentioned in an earlier video this week about the pace that the Cardinals play at. They're one of the quickest teams at getting to the line of scrimmage and running plays. They're going to run a lot of offensive snaps, and that really benefits the likes of David Johnson. Not only that, but he's involved in the passing game, and they're going up against the Carolina Panthers, who are just torched on the ground by Payton Barber. If Payton Barber can score on this defense, I like where David Johnson's headed. Got him right now at running back 8 because it sounds like he's back and healthy. Number 9 is Le'Veon Bell, New York Jets. Now, just this time last week, he was getting an MRI for his shoulder, and we were kind of discussing whether this guy was even going to play or not. Then he went out on Sunday and had 31 total touches. So not only did he play, he played a lot. Now, in this offense, he's not going to be overly efficient. He's not going to put up those big yardage games as often as he did in Pittsburgh. But the usage, it's going to be there, and it's not going to change this week because now they have starting quarterback Luke Falk. I mean, I don't think there's too many defenses out there worried about Luke Falk, especially the New England Patriots, who up until this point of the season have been one of the best defensive teams in all of the land. Le'Veon Bell is going to touch the ball a lot. Does he put up big numbers? That remains to be seen, but he's still a top 10 pick for me here this week. Le'Veon Bell coming in at running back 9. Number 10 is going to be Todd Gurley, Los Angeles Rams, and they're going to be going up against the Cleveland Browns, who just saw Le'Veon Bell touch the ball 31 times against them. Now, do we think that Todd Gurley comes out and gets 31 touches? No, absolutely not. However, week 1 had 14 carries, week 2, 16 carries, and that 16 carry range is kind of where I see him on a week-to-week basis. The touchdown upside is high, and he's still involved in the passing game. A total of 19 touches in week 2. I'll take that all day long from Todd Gurley in a high-powered offense. There could be a lot of offense going back and forth in this game. Todd Gurley going to be my running back 10. Number 11 is going to be Sony Michel of the New England Patriots, and I really expect this running game for the New England Patriots to continue to evolve and get better as the weeks go on. Sony Michel, a little bit of a difficult matchup going up against the New York Jets, who kind of held Nick Chubb in check for the most part, but Sony Michel has that high volume upside, and the offense of the Patriots is something you want to have a piece of. If they can get a first half lead, expect a heavy dose of Sony Michel in the second. Number 12 is going to be Chris Carson here, and he's got a matchup with the Saints, and I expect a heavy dose of Chris Carson. Now, he saw himself in the doghouse last week for a costly fumble, but then when the game was on the line for a critical fourth down carry, Chris Carson was the one who got the ball, so they still believe in him, they still trust him. However, while he was out, Rashad Penny did not look that bad. So if you're a Chris Carson owner, if you see a fumble coming, I'm getting a little bit worried that he could start losing a few of these touches as we get further into the season. If you can acquire Rashad Penny, if you have room on the bench for him, try to go out there and make an offer, because if anything happens to Chris Carson, Rashad Penny turns into an immediate high-end RB2 with low-end RB1 upside. Right now, Chris Carson's running back 12. Number 13 is Aaron Jones, Green Bay Packers, and just when we thought he was freed, Matt LaFleur has to come out and make a stupid comment like they want a 50-50 split with him and Jamal Williams. Partially hoping that's just a little bit of coach speak to throw off the opponent's game plan. However, this week going up against the Denver Broncos, Aaron Jones still has high upside. We broke this down in depth in the preseason. Aaron Jones doesn't need to get 23 carries a game. If he does, he's going to produce huge numbers. We need him right around that sweet spot of 15 total touches. If we can get him right around 15 total touches with his efficiency in this offense, we're going to be happy with his production. He's just outside the top 12 running backs. Right now, the top of the tier of the RB2s at running back 13. Number 14 is going to be Mark Ingram, Baltimore Ravens, and this could be a very exciting game. A lot more exciting now that we're here in week 3 than maybe we thought it would have been when we saw this on the schedule during preseason. But Mark Ingram, he's a lock for the early down work and the goal line work. A lot of offense could be exchanged in this game, and Mark Ingram has high touchdown upside. Right now, got him at running back 14. Number 15 is going to be James Conner, Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, earlier in the week, I kind of had him listed as a sit. At the time, he was dealing with a knee injury, and there was talk of him possibly missing game time. Now, he's back at practice, and he's a full participant. So I put him in there right there at the middle of the RB2s. The reason I put him a few spots lower, though, is there's an opportunity here for maybe Jalen Samuels to steal a few carries throughout the game. Do we see a little bit of Benny Snell this week? I don't see them going out there and trying to run James Conner into the ground against a San Francisco 49ers team, which is 8th against opposing running backs. Tougher matchup, coming off a knee injury. I like to see him play him, but I'm tempering expectations. Got him as a running back 2 here at running back 15. Number 16 is going to be Marlon Mack, and this is one we need to pay attention to. He's dealing with an injury, and we don't even know for sure if he's going to be good to go on Sunday. There's already rumors that Nyheim Hines and Jordan Wilkins could be heavily involved in this backfield, so pay attention to all you Marlon Mack owners. A decent matchup going up against the Atlanta Falcons, and Marlon Mack, if he plays, has that 20 touch per week upside. However, with this injury, got me a little bit worried. Dropped him a few spots. He's down to number 16. Number 17 is going to be Matt Breida. Now, I put him inside the top 30 last week, and a lot of people thought I was nuts. Matt Breida goes out and rushes for over $120. All of a sudden, Matt Breida is still fantasy relevant with the injuries in the backfield to the San Francisco 49ers, and now a matchup against the 21st ranked run defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Matt Breida, actually whoever is in this backfield, is going to have fantasy value. The way that this offense works with Kyle Shanahan is he integrates all of these backs throughout the entire game and gets them all enough touches in an efficient style manner to really produce fantasy points on a weekly basis. It's why I liked this backfield in the preseason. It's different names than I thought it might be, but I like the way they can produce. Look at what happened last year. This isn't a fluke for Kyle Shanahan. I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr. and Raheem Mostert, Alfred Morris even at times were things in San Francisco last year. I'm not surprised by the production now, and I'm going to get him in my lineup here for week 3. Number 18 is going to be David Montgomery, Chicago Bears. Glad to see him finally get some work, and I say finally, and it's only been 2 weeks into the season, but the way they used him week 1 was just enough to pull whatever hair I have left out. Now that they're giving him the touches, he has a great matchup Monday Night Football going up against the Washington Redskins. I expect somewhere close to 15 to 18 total touches once again for David Montgomery, and the more time he gets in this backfield, the more comfortable he gets, and definitely is going to have a breakout game soon. Love the potential here Monday Night Football. Got him at running back 18. Number 19 is Josh Jacobs, another one of these guys who we really need to pay attention to, dealing with a groin injury. And is he limited? Does he even play? This is something we need to watch pretty closely. It's why he's dropped a few spots down the rankings. And he's got somewhat of a difficult matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, who were torched by Aaron Jones last week, but it's still a pretty stout run defense. If Josh Jacobs is banged up at all, there's a real chance that he may not be somebody you want in your lineup. So make sure you're paying attention to the injury report. We want to see him as a full participant by the weekend. Got him right now, running back 19. Number 20 is going to be Devonta Freeman of the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of people not too happy with Devonta Freeman as of yet, but it's been 2 difficult matchups here for him to start the season. Now, he gets the 19th ranked Indianapolis Colts run defense and has an opportunity to really put together a good game. Does that mean that he's going to go out and rush 20 times a game? No, probably not. But if we can get him right around that 15 touches and 5 receptions, he's going to put together a solid RB2 fantasy day for you. That's why we have him right now running back 20. Number 21 is one of the bold calls of the week. It's Myles Sanders of the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Detroit Lions. And I believe this is the week that Myles Sanders starts to take over the backfield of the Philadelphia Eagles. We know there's a lot of banged up receivers for the Eagles, and they're going to have to rely a little bit more on the running game. Right now, Myles Sanders is the best running back on that roster. If he can get more touches, he's going to do something with him right now, having that running back 21. 22 is going to be old man Frank Gore, who will just play football forever for the Buffalo Bills, going up against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL in the Cincinnati Bengals. And Frank Gore busting into the top 25 is a little crazy, especially here in week 3. Now, we love Devin Singletary, but with his hamstring injury, it looks like we're going to see a heavy dose of Frank Gore. He's another one of these guys on an offense that's very underrated in Buffalo that could go out there and get you 18 to 20 touches. Very few running backs that you probably picked up off the waiver wire have that upside. Frank Gore does. Got him at running back 22. Number 23 is going to be Payton Barber of the Tampa Bay Bucks. I never thought I'd put a Bucks running back here inside the top 25, but Payton Barber, as of right now, seems to be the hot hand in Tampa Bay. Now, Bruce Arians came out, a few weeks ago and said, hey, whoever's got the hot hand, that's who we're rolling with. Well, don't forget, the guy he's competing with is Ronald Jones. Last time I checked, he doesn't have hot hands ever. Payton Barber is the main running back right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a decent matchup going up against the New York Giants. Payton Barber, another one of these guys who you probably got late that you can throw in as a flex play that could see 18 to 20 touches. Got him right now running back 23. Continuing the trend here of running backs that you may have just picked up off the waiver wire recently. Number 24, Carlos Hyde, Houston Texans, who seems to be the lead back now in Houston. As much as we love the upside of Duke Johnson, the addition of Carlos Hyde and Kenny Stills really ate into the upside of one Duke Johnson. And now that Hyde has basically taken over that early down work and the goal line work, this is a running back who on a weekly basis is another guy that can go out there and see, 15 to 20 touches on a weekly basis. Now he gets the Chargers, the 28th ranked defense against opposing running backs. Great matchup for him. Got him at running back 24. Number 25 is going to be Tariq Cohen, Chicago Bears. Now, I think by this point, a lot of owners are kind of frustrated with Tariq Cohen. They're maybe frustrated with the entire offense of the Chicago Bears as a whole. They need to get back to really moving the ball down the field. How do they do that? They try to make things easier on Mitch Trubisky. They're going to do that with a lot more David Montgomery and a lot more Tariq Cohen. I expect him to see not only some rushes out of the backfield, but some time in the slot in motion, trying to get the ball in his hand in space so he can make something happen. They cannot rely on Mitch Magic to continually throw the ball down the field if they want to win ball games in Chicago. Tariq Cohen was a huge weapon for them last year. They need to get back to it. I believe it starts again this week. Got him at running back 25. 26 is going to be Raheem Mostert of the San Francisco 49ers. Definitely a name I did not expect to see inside the top 30 by week 3 of the fantasy football season. Now, at times last year, he was having great games, so this is not a fluke what we saw here in week 2. Raheem Mostert is a real threat in this offense. I mentioned it when we were talking about Matt Breida. It doesn't really matter who the running back is in this system. They're going to produce numbers. In a great matchup going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Raheem Mostert and his passing upside, pass catching upside, is definitely a name that I don't mind throwing in at my flex spot here for week 3, especially in larger leagues. 12-team leagues or larger. Raheem Mostert as a flex has huge upside right now. Got him at running back 26. 27 is going to be Carryon Johnson. Now, I dropped him down a lot this week. A lot of people are saying, man, they cut C.J. Anderson. He's going to get a huge workload. Well, I think what that says is we see a lot more Ty Johnson, a Johnson and Johnson backfield, and I don't think we see a whole lot more opportunity for Carryon Johnson. I just don't trust Matt Patricia as of yet to give that extra work to Carryon Johnson. I want to see it happen on the field before I trust it. It is a very difficult matchup this week, going up against the third-ranked run defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm worried to start Carryon Johnson, and if I have better options, I'm definitely going to use them. Now, maybe you're really thin at running back and you don't have a choice. You don't want to just go grab a random person and throw it in there. Carryon Johnson is worth a look if you have no other choices. However, if you got one of these other names ahead of him, I'm taking a shot on him here in week 3. Number 28 is a running back who I added here late. It's Kenyan Drake, Miami Dolphins, and don't get used to seeing any Dolphins inside the top 30 because really the entire team is horrible as of right now. But Kenyan Drake in a game going up against the Dallas Cowboys, a game that they could be trailing by quite a few, and I expect Josh Rosen to use the check down passes quite frequently. Why? It's Josh Rosen, and he really struggles getting the ball down the field in big chunks. Kenyan Drake may not rack up huge yardage, but he could see a lot of check down passes, and in PPR leagues, I don't mind it, especially in those deeper leagues. Right now, got him at running back 28. 29 is going to be Phillip Lindsay. A lot lower than a lot of people want to see him, but let's be real, people. He's in a 50-50 split with Royce Freeman right now. He's got a little bit more upside in PPR leagues, but they're almost neck and neck for touches, and Phillip Lindsay hasn't done anything to take away those touches from Royce Freeman. They're basically identical clones of each other at this point, and until one of them can pull away with this job, Phillip Lindsay is going to be farther down this list. Right now, got him at running back 29. Number 30 is going to be Joe Mixon, Cincinnati Bengals, and I've dropped him way down because of the injury concerns. Now, it sounds like he may be good to go on Sunday, and if he can get a couple full practices under his belt, he may move up in the rankings, but for right now, got him at number 30 until we can see him healthy. It's a very difficult matchup going up against a top 10 run defense in the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Now, is there a chance that Gio Bernard and him still split until he can get back to 100% health? That is entirely possible. So until we see some full practice sessions, multiple full practice sessions, and actually a game plan to where maybe Gio Bernard is not involved, I'm a little bit worried about Joe Mixon. However, if he can get a couple full practices under his belt, he may be somebody who creeps into the top 25 here before the weekend. All right, those are my top 30 running backs here for Week 3 fantasy football, and a lot of these names may seem like they're in some weird spots, but look at it. It's Week 3, and look at some of the names we're talking about. Anything is possible at this point. We're trying to find the touches. Who is going to touch the ball the most? Because those are the guys who have the biggest opportunity for fantasy points. That's what we're trying to find here on a weekly basis. So let me know down below what you think in the comments. Maybe you have a change. Maybe you'd like to see somebody else somewhere different. By all means, throw it in there. I'm not trying to tell you that I know everything and that you know nothing. That's not what this channel is about. We're trying to help each other out, win some fantasy football games. So let me know down in the comment section down below. If you're new here, consider subscribing and also leave a comment. Let me know that you're new. I'd love to welcome you here to Headliner Nation. Really appreciate all the support. Channel's still growing like crazy. Hopefully you all have a great weekend this week. Good luck on your fantasy football Week 3 matchups. We'll talk to you later.